And James Scott in the white trunks weighed in at 175.5. Jerry Celestine at 176.75, both just a little bit over the 175 limit. And this, of course, is a big fight for both of these fighters. James Scott fighting now unranked, unrated, and trying to prove that he is worthy of being where he was, number 2 in the WBA. Celestine unranked, but with a record of 17-4, including 12 knockouts, coming off a 3-round knockout of Lonnie Bennett, a pretty good light heavyweight, and Celestine sees this as a real opportunity to move up and get himself rated in the top 10 light heavyweights in the world. Round number 1.
Scott started to talk to him already. That's all part of James Scott's psychology. He tries to frighten you any way he can.
Scott, obviously, as you saw in the pre-fight remarks with Dick Stockton, a little upset by the developments and having his rating stripped, and frankly, on the surface of what they did, I have to agree with his position. He certainly deserves to be rated. I don't think the WBA should have done what they did in stripping him of the rating, having rated him to begin with. And they certainly could have prevented their champion from coming in to have to fight him here in prison if that occurred. If Scott earned himself a title fight, just make an exception for the champion in that case, that he would not have to fight Scott in prison. Scott would have to wait for his opportunity outside, but why take the rating away from him? In any event,
you know, Tim, maybe you belong to the diplomatic corps. That may be the way to solve this entire thing.
Well, I think it's a pretty cut and dried thing in my viewpoint. The WBA was wrong. Scott on the attack here early, and he is always on the attack. Celestine, a big, strong guy, hits with both hands. Pretty good punchers, as 12 knockouts in 17 fights would indicate. The inmates here at Rahway are watching on closed circuit. There are a few of them members of the boxing program who are here in the auditorium, and the rest of this audience is made up of the paying public. A minute remaining in round 1.
I like Celestine's concentration. He really keeps his eyes focused right on Scott's gloves. He doesn't seem to be intimidated at all, Tim.
Very relaxed, and he was relaxed before this fight. And yesterday, after he arrived from New Orleans, in our opportunity to chat with him, actually Thursday afternoon, he said, I have no problems going in there. He said, I served my time. I fought, sparred in the prison, and he coaches inmates down in New Orleans. 30 seconds remaining. Less than that now in round 1. Final seconds here of round number 1 from the Rahway State Prison, live on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Jerry Celestine and James Scott. This is the final round, round number 10, live from the Rahway State Prison. And on our cards, James Scott has won this fight big. He would require a knockout by Celestine, and he has shown no indications of being able to come up with anything like that. You never know, of course, but from round 5 on, we've got Scott winning every round on our card.
Celestine came out for this round like he was going to the electric chair. No zip, no snap. He didn't even have his hands up.
Interesting choice of words for our locale.
Well, you know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Referee is Vincent Rainoni.
Just can't connect with those head punches.
No, he is not as sharp. He has just done the body job
there
today.
He goes, missing again. Come on, Scott, come on. And it's not that Celestine isn't there. He's right there, right in front of him.
Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, Dick Stockton will be talking to the winner. World's Strongest Men, final edition coming up. Stay tuned here on the Sports Spectacular. Celestine just cannot get it going. Scott won't let him, and Celestine has just not been able to generate anything in the way of a consistent attack.
Tim, it's almost like a gym workout now. You know, Celestine isn't throwing punches like with real conviction. He doesn't believe he can do it, and when you don't believe you can do it, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Right hand lead by Celestine scored, didn't do any real damage. But now Scott lands with a straight left pop.
Break out, step back. Come on.
Minute to go in the fight. Remember Scott Ledoux, Mike Weaver, November 24th here in the Sports Spectacular. And next week at Too Tall Jones. Tries it out for real down in New Mexico. Celestine really exhausted here now in these final seconds of the fight. Scott still banging away to the body. Under 30 seconds. Crowd coming alive here, sensing maybe Scott can take him out. There's how much time he's got left to do that. Celestine battling back.
Well, Tim, we said it was going to go all the way, and it sure did.
Final seconds of this fight. And that's the end of it. We'll be back with a decision in a moment.
Referee Vinnie Ranoni votes 9 rounds Scott, 1 round Celestine. Judge Charlie Spina, 8 rounds Scott, 2 rounds Celestine. Judge Eva Shane, 9 rounds Scott, 1 Celestine. Winner by unanimous.
All right, there it is, unanimous decision. Let's go up to Dick Stockton and James Scott.
All right, James Scott has won. James, let me ask you this right over here, James.
We got so much time, James.
James, let me ask you this question. You seemed a little frustrated that you couldn't end it.
Well, Celestine's a good fight. I took the fight in 2 weeks' notice. But first, let me say, all praise due to Allah and the Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad.
Next up is Yaki Lopez, and good luck to you then, James. Okay, we've got to go on now to the World's Strongest Men competition. This is the final event. Tom Brookshire is in Universal City, California for the finals of the World's Strongest Men competition.